Now, one thing I want to touch bases on is spirituality. I feel that I'm spiritual as well in my own way. I'm trying to connect myself with God and who is that?
Yeah.
One thing that's I find hard for me is almost like feeling the truth. Sometimes I feel so connected, but I can't keep that connection. It's like I relapse in whatever way possible, whether it's eating unhealthy or whether it's having an argument with my wife or whatever it is. It's like, man. And then the worst part is it's not even that moment. It's looking back on it like, dang, I reacted this way on the circumstance. It's not the circumstance itself. It's the way you react, you know? And man, it's like, why can't I control that? Where's that? I practice. I do work on self-discipline, but how do you have any experience with this same problem that I see? You know, do you relapse or fall back into maybe old ways, or let your ego at times control a way that you know, whatever direction you go in? How do we work that out, man? What do we, you know what I mean?
I feel like, you know, hey, I'm not a god, you know what I mean? But I'm not saying you're saying I am, but I definitely don't want to like act like I know it all or anything like that.
Yeah, we're just talking, man. I want to pick your brain and see how you feel about that.
Just chatting, like, to me, I feel like everyone goes through what you're just saying, like everyone. And that's what's so crazy about social media is like you put out this image of yourself, of who you see yourself as being, you know what I mean? And then people that are around you, they know maybe that's not you, right? You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that the image you're putting out there is like false. It just means that's who you truly want to become. You know what I mean? Some people want to become some pretty fucked up shit. You know, you see on their Instagrams. But, you know, like some people, you know, they have their vision right and everything like that. So we're talking about maybe people that we could collectively agree on that's probably heading in the right path, you know? So someone has that image that they want to uphold, but then they fall back into an argument with their girlfriend or an argument with their wife or eating unhealthy, something like that. Just the thought that you have in your head that you're trying is all you need. You know what I mean? Because we're forever students. So it's like just that thought, you know, of even having that image and just trying every day, just a little bit it's enough. You know what I mean?
Slow progress.
That's all it is, because not to get into reincarnation or anything you want, but I mean, it takes a while. You know what I mean? There's a black belt maybe in this life in jiu-jitsu, but there's like a 1,000,000-year black belt also. You know what I mean? That you got to keep that focus through lifetimes. You know what I mean? To achieve. But I mean, something that really helped me, and I'm kind of writing a book on it, and it's going to be a small book, and it's going to be kind of like almost like a pocket-sized book. Okay. And this book was just about the keys of, I want it to be called Enlightenment Now. That way people are like, oh, it's not like in the future, it's now. You know? So just like terms that would help you, right? The purpose of life is just to have purpose. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to like find some purpose. It just means whatever you're doing. Right now, we're putting all our purpose into this podcast, right? So we're living purposefully. It feels good,
yes,
right?
It is.
It feels good. You're doing what you want to do, right? So if you're walking down the street, don't walk, pay attention to your posture. You know what I mean? Like pull your posture up. Make sure that you're walking the perfect walk. You know what I mean? So whatever you're doing, you just put 100% purpose in, and you're actually doing what you're supposed to be doing. Right there. That's absolutely perfect. So the purpose of life is just to have purpose. So what's the reason for these unfortunate circumstances, Chad? The reason for unfortunate circumstances are just to reveal your character to other people around you. So it's like, this guy has cancer, right? Oh man, that's fucked up. It's fucked up. He's got cancer. But that guy can motivate and inspire thousands of people around him within his inner circle by showing strength, determination. And even though he might die from cancer, his kids and everything like that might become very successful people because they saw their dad go through something that was so negative and he became such a positive thing. And that daughter changed the whole world, you know? So you don't know what that negative circumstance is going to do to reveal your character to other people. So negative circumstances are only put in your life to reveal your character to those around you. And then lastly, suffering. You know what I mean? Why do we suffer? You know what I mean? What's the point of suffering? Suffering, to me, and these are all just my perspectives I'm putting in my book, just suffering is just a built-in alarm clock, right? To remind you that you're not living in purpose. So look, you're suffering, you're like depressed, okay? That's because you're not living your life, what you're doing presently in that moment, up to full purpose, you know? For instance, I broke my back. If I'm cruising down the street and I let my shoulders kind of hang forward, right? I'm starting to suffer. My back's hurting, you know what I mean? That's because I'm not walking with purpose. I need to correct my posture. I need to walk more purposefully. Then I don't suffer, right? So what is suffering? Suffering isn't a negative thing. It's just a built-in alarm clock to remind you, hey, bro, start living with purpose, right? So those things, when I kind of realized those things, changed my whole fucking life. I was more motivated when I needed to be more motivated. I was more focused when I needed to be focused. And then I just remind myself, you know what I mean? So when I'm depressed, I'm not like, oh, I'm depressed because I'm depressed. I'd be like, why am I depressed? You know what I mean? Like, what do I need to do right now? Pick up my guitar, write a damn song. You know what I mean? Like, don't just sit here and be like wallow in this shit. You know what I mean? Like, do something, right? So once you start doing that, I feel like you could change the whole world, you know, by changing yourself.
Yeah, change yourself, which changes your neighbor, which changes your street, which reaches out and changes the state to the country to the world.
I love it, man. I love it.
That whole last minute right there was just like a
Man, that felt
beautiful
good.
perspective on life that
Yeah,
I hope
thank
a lot
you.
of people pick up on from this podcast. I want to